Last night we had a real good chat on Tim Robinson's channel about, what if we went to war? Basically, it's, a civil disobedience thing where Congress doesn't listen to the people and want to infringe upon our rights that are guaranteed in the Constitution. One time I had a bunch of these stickers. I think it said, support your Constitution before it's too weak to defend you. I sent them all over the place. Another thing that you got to think about too is the Second Amendment is in its place just in case politicians ignore all the other rights. Well, we're going to get to something here, so just kind of bear with me just a second. Just hang in there, people. Be just a few moments. It's your duty, people, to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. It is your duty. So they're going after your guns again. So what did your forefathers teach you to do? It's time to resist. Now this is on Guns in the News. I'll find the date here. January 14th, 2019. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Don't ever forget what your forefathers told you. It says, do you remember in elementary school or high school where there was mean and unruly kids and they were always bullying the other kids and you was always hoping something would happen to them, but it never did. But these bullies that are in government and the media today, they are illegal and totalitarian methods are attempting to browbeat into submission the American people on a daily basis, hoping that no one dares to retaliate. They don't want to get hurt. Government is instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. That's us, not them making up all these things. They don't work that way. So where do they get their authority? They don't know who they're even working for. John Adams said it, probably one of the best. Arms in the hands of the citizen may be used at individual discretion for the defense of the country, the overthrow of tyranny, or private self-defense. Jefferson said the strongest reason for the people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is as a last resort to protect themselves against tyranny and governor. Yeah, our forefathers didn't arm the American people for the purpose of hunting, but rather to protect themselves from those who were doing the hunting, namely, at that time, the tyrant King George. Right now they're trying to strip away your ability to protect you and your family from people such as themselves. If you dare refuse to submit to their tyranny ways, they will then label you as the enemy of the state, when in fact, they are the ones who are guilty of violating constitutional laws. Tyrant King George labeled our forefathers as terrorists, and yet he was the one responsible for terrorizing. To disarm the people is the best and most effectual way to enslave them. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and institute a new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and translucent causes. But when a long train of abuses keep it up, you've got to do something. It is the rights of the people. It is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Doing what is right and lawful when it comes to today's politicians is as foreign to them as it was to the tyrant King George and his subordinates who would not be ruled by God. As a matter of fact, our founding fathers flew in the face of such what was taking place. Now, in short, what this means is criminals mean to steal away what your forefathers and veterans have fought and bled and died for. And here's another message, and this is important to the people wearing badges and stuff. Note, a message to those who act on behalf of those who are violating Americans and their God-given rights. They need to understand when they do this, they are no longer law enforcement, but they have now become agents of the state. Remember, tyrants cannot do what tyrants do without someone doing it for him. Don't play the fool. Remember, America's God-given rights must be fought for, because if not, it merely means that they have been forfeited. The Constitution shall never be construed to prevent the people of the United States who are peaceful citizens from keeping in their own arms. I'll put a link to this in there. Like I said, you have the right and the duty, mind you, to fight for the same rights that your forefathers and them fought for. We shouldn't have to be going through this again, but you got to remember how arrogant these people are. If you've ever been around arrogant people, most of the time, the arrogant people are drunkards. And I mean drunkards. I mean, they can't wait to get a fix or a drink, and they are oblivious to the world. Their only world is themselves. They only think about themselves. They don't think about you, the people. They're self-absorbed is what is going on here. Their gun control thing, that is about as meaningless as life gets. I'm telling you. They want control, people. They want control. You know, their gun proposals, people, you know, they're not seriously intended to fight crime. It's to fight you. You know, if you look back at some of the old English literature, you know, they even had a song out, you know, Froggy went a courting, he did ride, sword and pistol by his side. Well, there's a reason for that. Because even back from the, 15th century up to the 19th century, you were expected to defend yourself in the middle of the night, during your travels, no matter where you went, from highwaymen and other criminals at that time. And they're still out there. You fear for your wife going out to Walmart at night. And remember, The Supreme Court said the police are not there to protect you. They don't have any obligation to protect you. You are on your own. That's why we have the Constitution of the United States of America. You are allowed to go armed. And Congress is constitutionally barred from infringing upon any rights in the Constitution. Any rights. But they're so arrogant, the only thing that they can see is their self-absorbed notion that they are smarter than you, that they are the kings, they are the kings, they're the rulers, and they are not there to rule over us. They are there to listen to our whims and desires, not to screw around with the Constitution. They don't even balance a budget. These kind of people have no business being in Congress or the Senate or even President. Thanks for watching. Just remember, you have a duty, an obligation, a right. Keep that in mind. Your duty is to protect the Constitution of the United States.